Where does Jeff Bezos get his money? Hello guys, and welcome back to another interesting episode on the channel. In today's video, we'll be taking our focus away from a fully compiled list to studying a certain aspect of an individual's life. The public has always been known to be full of curiosity, and I'm a part of the public too. In fact, you're a part of the public, and we all are always interested in knowing just about everything and anything related to people of significant popularity. And just as it turns out, Jeff Bezos, the very founder of the world's largest online marketplace, Amazon, happens to be in this spotlight. Though there's so much information about Jeff lingering on the internet, from his marriage status to his health status and financial worth, that there is still so much we don't know about him. Sure, he does own Amazon, but is that his only source of wealth? How did Amazon come to be? What else is Jeff into? In this video, we'll work our best into covering so much detail of how Jeff Bezos makes his money. As you know, Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. So it's quite logical to want to figure out how he got to the point he is and where all his money comes from. It was known that Jeff Bezos was worth $143,810,231,459.23 on the 26th of February 2019 at 3:55 p.m. Of course, this number will fluctuate over time, and currency value changes and market demand declines. It's also said that his divorce did take a considerable chunk out of his fortune. But before we get into full details of his billions, let's first try to get it into our heads just how much cash this man has. As we said, his worth changes a lot, and that's due to many factors. But let's just say for now, he has around $140 billion either in cash or asset. So, how did he come up with such an achievement? Well, before we reveal that, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here and turn on the notification bell. Jeff Bezos was born on January 12, 1964 in Albuquerque, New Mexico to a 17-year-old mother who obviously was very young at the time and still in high school. His mother and father married, but their marriage didn't last at the age of 4 because he had to move to Houston, Texas, where his mother remarried and he was given his stepfather's surname. He had to move again to Miami, Florida, hoping for better opportunities and an easier life. He wasn't always the richest person in modern history. In fact, he gave up parts of his youth in high school working at McDonald's as a line cook in order to make extra money. He always knew he wanted to do more with his life. He tried very hard in school and even enrolled in extra courses in the Student Science Training Program at the University of Florida. He also worked part-time, and using what little time available to study, he graduated a valedictorian of his high school. He attended and graduated from Princeton University with degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, and began working for a number of companies, from a financial telecommunications startup to banking, where he gained valuable knowledge about the inner workings of Wall Street. Growing up poor, he's always had very little, but money to him was only a tool and never the end goal. He wanted to create something that had never been done before, something that was his. By 1994, when he was just 30 years old, he was already the senior vice president for one of the world's largest investment management firms, but he still wasn't happy. He took a huge risk and followed his dreams of creating something more. After writing a business plan, he quit his job and began searching for investors for his company. He warned his investors that there was a 70% chance that his new business could fail because the idea of blending the internet and commerce had never been done before. They were just as ambitious as he was, and on July 5th, 1994, he launched his business from his garage. At first, he only sold books. But he knew from the very beginning he wanted to sell everything people wanted. It was always clear to him that the internet was going to revolutionize the way people lived, and physical bookstores seemed like one of the more obvious things that would change. It didn't take long until people began ordering all types of books from his website and eventually began selling music and videos. Interesting facts you don't know of, right? Well, we could go on, but I noticed you still haven't tapped on the subscribe button. So do that now and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on every post. Great! Now let's get back to the video. Just as things began selling, so many things beyond books, in the year 2000, the company hit rock bottom. A combination of fierce competition and the dot-com burst led Jeff's company to near bankruptcy. Online startups and companies were disappearing and closing all around him, with many, including himself, unsure if they would make it. Luckily for him, he had borrowed and raised nearly $2 billion from a number of banks and investors weeks before the burst, and were able to ride out the turmoil. During this time, he followed three main principles. 1. The customer is first. 2. Stay innovative and remain inventive. And 3. Be patient. What began as a humble online bookstore turned into an online e-commerce store where anyone can find anything from A to Z, as the logo shows. We know you don't know this, but it wasn't always called Amazon. At first, he wanted to name it Cadabra or Relentless, but was talked out of both. And then finally chose Amazon after the largest river in the world by volume. But he wanted to do more than e-commerce, so he quietly founded Blue Origin, a human spaceflight startup company, in 2000. By 2015, they had their first test flight into outer space and had hoped on having their first commercial flights into space by 2019. Of all the goals he had in mind, becoming the first centibillionaire on the Forbes Wealth was not part of it. The aim was always to produce services that could make life easier and better for others, a task that was not always easy for him. He revolutionized the way people purchase their goods and services, making it so that they don't even have to step out of their comfort zone to get the things they want. Other income streams that Jeff Bezos earns his wealth from are stocks in Google. In the year 1998, Jeff Bezos became an early investor in Google, although he has not revealed what he has kept of the stock after its initial public offering in 2004. His $250,000 investment should be worth well over $6 billion. Another income stream is real estate. He owns a lot of buildings and land that provide enough income for himself. He's invested in Twitter and has invested nearly $50 million in venture capital to the popular business news website Business Insider. And he's also worked in other media companies such as Teach Street Inc. and ZocDoc Inc. And in the travel sector, Bezos has invested $112 million and $35 million respectively in Series B financing of Airbnb and transportation service Uber. Basically, he has a lot of income streams that backs him up. So much more than just the Amazon marketplace we've all come to know of. It's important to always remember that not everyone started from the top. Jeff Bezos came from the bottom and rose to the top without giving up on his dreams. He strived to achieve his dream, and that is how he got to the point where he is currently. Now, for everyone else that's thinking of starting their own businesses, it's important to learn to never give up easily on your dreams. Jeff Bezos never gave up on his dream. Even though there were a lot of obstacles, he didn't waver. Just make sure to stay focused and don't give up. And when you've achieved your dreams, don't stop there. Create alternative plans as pillars to support your dreams. Invest so you can have backup income streams, just like Jeff Bezos did. So, what more than to give a big thank you to everyone who has tuned in today? And a bigger thank you to those that watched till the end. Of course, you being here till the end means something interesting has kept you watching. And if you would love to see videos even more interesting, then be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Tell us what you admire about Jeff in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!